Day 3 login is SSR ticket. Wait, there's another SSR ticket? Why is there so many tickets? Show me, where do I get this ticket? Yo, you're getting an SSR ticket on day 3? Oh! We got the waifu. I'm actually happy. Since she's good in PvP, I'll take it. Alright, before we begin to today's video, there's a code. Make sure you guys use the code. Go to settings, manage account, enter coupon. Boom, bam, bam. This is the one. SSVIP666. Boom. This is the reward. Alright, let's go. Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Counter-Psych video. Alright, today we'll be focusing on the R and N units that you obtain from the game. Now I know plenty of you will have plenty of rare units, N units. And getting SSR in this game is going to feel really good at the beginning. But once you realize that the deployment cost for each characters, for example, my Xiaolin SSR have a 4 energy cost, and if you get like something like Titan for example, that thing has a 6 energy cost. So ideally you don't want to mix just a bunch of SSR just in your squad, because that's going to be too expensive for you to deploy. You're going to get wrecked in the early PvP stages. So therefore, having some R rarity or N rarity units are going to be beneficial to you as well. So let's go over a couple of my favorites, and I do think that these are some of the best that you should be building right now. First of all, we're going to talk about Irie Alfred. Yes, the blue ice cream licking girl. She is insanely absurd. She is actually really strong. I would highly recommend all of you to build her. If you're looking for a defender, if you don't have Carl Bong, whatever, she will be your best, like probably the most solid choice to help you tank a hit. Besides the other tank that I'm going to talk about, right, that we can also build. But here's the thing, what makes her really strong, we need to understand her skills as well. So if you look at her basic skill, all she does is swing her shield, attacking target in front, etc, right? But what makes her really strong is this particular passive skill. This is that's giving her the impact in battle most of the time. She may be small, but she's more reliable than anyone else on the field. Basic attacks force their targets to attack her for 5 seconds. So every time she uses basic attack, enemy will be forced to attack her, so she has this taunt ability. This skill also decreases surrounding strikers' damage by 10%. Alright, that is a lot. Also guys, make sure you guys upgrade the skill level. I know a lot of you guys just focus on leveling your characters, but you also want to focus on getting their skill level high up as well. Alright, so Irie Alfred is something that you don't want to miss out on. Like, she's so easy to obtain. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have plenty of her duplicates. So definitely I would give her the priority. She's going to be one of the best defender that you're going to have for a long time, until you get some SSR or SRs later on. Alright, so special skill. Hops and swings her shield, knocking enemies backward with AoE damage. And also lastly, the ultimate skill repeatedly strikes the ground with the shield, generates shockwaves, and inflicts AoE damage. Alright, next up we're going to talk about the Sparrow. Sparrow. Alright, probably you guys obtained this guy early on in the game as a free unit, or maybe you have obtained multiple of him at this time. Okay, so this is a mech that is airborne. Alright, it's an air type unit, and it has all around attack. It's able to hit the enemies in the air, it's able to hit the enemies in the ground. I personally like Sparrow, and there's 2 variations of this. Alright, we're going to talk about both of them. Now skill wise, this guy is not that strong, because fires rifle at the target, valid hits 1, alright, addresses the AI's weaknesses, increase hit by 5%. So hit is very good against enemies that have high evasion, for example like the Ryan Ferrer, right? So this guy is able to somewhat deal consistent damage most of the time against enemy with high dodging abilities. But if you guys don't like Sparrow, the Woodpecker right here is also pretty similar. So they are not really in the same class. This guy is a striker, Sparrow is a ranger, right? But they are both air type. The Sparrow is able to hit both the air units and the ground units, because this guy is an all-around attack, whereas the Woodpecker can only deal damage to ground attacks. But keep this in mind, they both have different roles. This guy drops bomb from the air and it inflicts AoE damage, which can be substantial, especially if you're fighting against a lot of monsters at the same time. You can see that this AoE damage is going to serve much more purpose in most cases in PvE. And also the passive skill Motive Bomb Sight improves the accuracy of its sight, inflicts 10% more damage on rangers. This is a skill that you want to take advantage of for sure, especially when you're trying to fight a lot of PvE stages later on. They might have a lot of rangers. Moving on next, I just started building her recently. Cyndi Lauper, she is insanely awesome. Look at this, she's all maxed out. I actually just go all in on her. Alright, currently at level 45. Now, what makes Cyndi Lauper really strong? She is apparently one of the best striker for the R rarity, for sure. Now look at this. Of course, the normal attacks are just swinging chainsaw at the target, and she has a passive skill where her Twisted Fate keeps her going, increase her HP, which is surprisingly good. She is as tanky as Irie in some cases. I put them both in front, and they're able to just push forward progressively without any problem at all. Now let's look at the special skill, Judgment Saw. Now this is a very cool skill, alright? Swings chainsaw and moves forward, inflicting AoE damage. Again, AoE damage, which helps her a lot, and also restores 5% of HP every second during this skill's effect. Now, do you guys know how crazy that is? And this skill lasts for 20 seconds, which is just like poof, absurd. Like the amount of damage she was able to do. Alright, her ultimate skill, Suspicious Blessing, transforms her into a Fearless Warrior of the Lord. It generates Shockwave, where it removes debuffs cast on her. Number 1, also restores 40% of HP, increases attack by 15%, and grants immunity to hit stun from special or lower skills for 15 seconds. So you can see she has very good self-sustain as a striker. She's a damage dealer. She can heal herself with her special skill. She can also heal herself with her ultimate skill. 40% of her HP is a lot. So when you are equipping her, make sure you guys give her the HP bonus stat, because that's going to be much more beneficial for her, in my opinion. Let me do that right now. And yeah, if you guys lack a damage dealer or a consistent striker that can push forward alongside with your defender, look no further, just invest in her. Next up, we're going to be talking about Claudia Nelson. Now, she is a healer. I'm still working on mine for sure. And so far, I have already plenty of good healers. But if you do not have any good healers yet, like the SR or SSR healers, she is probably your best bet in trying to secure like a heal in your party alongside with your tanks. Alright, let's talk about her abilities for a bit. So what makes her so good? Discharges Holy Power from across, attacking a target in front. Now, she's always going to be in the front line. Now, the passive skill is what makes her kind of strong. Restores 10% of HP for all allies upon deployment. Now, this is upon deployment, yes, but her special skill unleashes the power of a watch, restoring surrounding allies' HP by 6% every second for 5 seconds. So 6% every second for 5 seconds, so that means around 30% healing. That is gonna be pretty crazy. So ultimate skill, again, this is also pretty insane. Alright, explodes the healing power of a watch, restoring the HP of all allies except herself by 25%. So make sure, do not put her first. If you are deploying a unit, make sure you put her after the defender. Now, of course, if you don't like Irie, you're not into lolly licking ice cream girls, I understand that. The next best option is Hound. If you're looking for a defender, a solid ground attack that can push forward for you, this guy is pretty good. He's really strong, surprisingly, for a rare class. Alright, fire cannonballs, inflicting AoE damage on and around the target. This is what makes him so good. He has AoE damage, and the passive skill, basic attacks, force their targets to attack it for 5 seconds. Again, similar to Irie, there's this sort of taunt towards this character that can force the enemies to focus on them for 5 seconds. And that's going to be a determining factor for you winning or losing a battle. And you can see special skill instantly charges a short distance, knocking enemies backward with AoE damage. I really like this. It charges forward, and it's just the distance is so huge. And as a defender, this will give you an edge most of the time where the enemies will be forced to hit him. Like, that's what you want a defender to have as a role in general. So most of the SSR that most players have are going to deal DPS, and this guy, or either Hound or Irie, will be the one in the front lines tanking. And lastly, an honorable mention, Katie Wade. I've been building her for sure, level 40, and so far she has been pretty good as well. Now, I don't think she's as good as the other characters I mentioned earlier, so therefore I'm putting her last on the list. She's a ranger, a ground type, and also an all-around attacker. So what she has is, she has AoE damage again. As an end character, this is really strong. Alright, it's invaluable to have AoE skills right here. The passive skill increases surrounding rangers' attack speed by 10%. So keep that in mind. She might feel stronger in certain teams compared to others. So if you have plenty of rangers, of course, you're gonna feel the benefit of having this attack speed. Special skill, Sonic Bullet, inflict AoE damage via air shock waves. And lastly, The ultimate skill summons a twister where it can inflict even more AoE damage. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this video. So this video focuses more on the R rarity units and the N rarity units. So hopefully we're going to cover the other rarity in our next video. Stay tuned for that. As always, if you guys have any other characters that you think are really good and if you're building them as well, let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.